Hello, Isak.
Hello.
Isak, you told me you had a test this morning. No, it's not true. You didn't had a test this morning. You said it is changed to Monday. So what has it been for a day to you today? Did you had training or stuff before?
Yeah, today was just an easy day. I thought I had a test this morning, but there was some change of plans and we have it Monday instead. So now just coming back from a long travel day yesterday. So just into some easy training today.
Yeah, it would have been easy, would have been interesting to hear how your test went, but so we have to wait a little bit for that. But are you positive for that, for the test?
Yeah, hopefully I have done a good job now in Livigno, but it's also it's always like a bit interesting to see how it went and how it will go. But I'm positive, yeah.
You just told me you had like 20 days in Livigno, and I always think like when you had like so many days in high altitude, you're not maybe in your best shape now when you're back in Norway.
No, there's a lot of just volume and low intensity in Livigno,
Yeah.
so I think I probably need some weeks now with a bit more specific training, but I think the shape should be okay, but it will be interesting to see now in the next few weeks how it turns out.
Yeah, for sure. And you will go back there, right, to Livigno?
Yeah, we go back now I went just with my family, and we go back in August with the team, and then another one in October as well.
Okay, so everything for the Olympics, I think.
Yeah, we go all in now. We use our budget for the altitude camps and try to do that as good as possible.
Yeah, I see. So let's first start with your beginning in biathlon, because I want to jump back to your origins and see where everything started. So how did you get into sports in the first place?
I think I always been skiing a lot since I was young, like at my cabin with my family. And then I think I started cross-country skiing first when I was like 6 or 7 years old. And then you can't start biathlon until you're 10 in Norway.
Yeah.
That's the law, so I did wait a bit, but then we saw was a bit of a coincidence that we saw a poster for biathlon, and I wanted to try it, so I tried it when I was like 10 years old, and then fell in love with it ever since.
And your family was also like always in sports, or did they do any sports?
No, not professionally, so it was just we liked skiing at my cabin, and that was a big part of my life, even before I started with it professionally. So I just skied for my whole life, and then was natural to start at the ski club locally.
Okay, but when you say you started with 6 or 7 years in cross-country skiing, that's quite late, right? In Norway.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had skied since I was like 2, but okay. in a ski club, I started when I started school, so like 7 years.
Okay. And this poster was your first contact like with biathlon, or did you watch it like in television before and you were always a fan? How was it with the sport?
I don't think I knew too much about it before I started. It was just something me and my friends wanted to try out. And it's close to cross-country skiing, so it was a bit natural to just try it. And we were a big group from them that did it together and had fun with it.
But when I compare it now to Germany, it's like in Germany, every kid is doing soccer or football. And I think in Norway, of course, you have like more options with the winter sports because you have more snow. But is it normal in Norway, or like a standard thing in Norway for you to always try cross-country skiing and biathlon and stuff?
I think soccer is the most, or football is the most common sport. And I did that as well until I was maybe 14 years old.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah, but it was always like a bit on the side from cross-country skiing and biathlon. But of course, there's a lot of at least cross-country skiers. I think we're like 300 at each age group when we were young, and that's a lot.
And why was it biathlon in the end and not like soccer?
I think I just was better at biathlon.
Okay.
Not easy, but I've always been kind of close between cross-country skiing and biathlon, but I always felt like I wanted to do biathlon a bit more.
So you also had like very good results in your youth or even before your youth years?
Yeah, I was pretty good at my age level, yeah. At least I was shooting quite fast and okay, and skiing fast, so I was always quite good. Yeah.
Okay, that's makes it a little bit easier to choose the sports. But did you also visit any like sports school in Norway? I think it's a common thing in Lillehammer.
No, I actually decided to. I'm from near Oslo, and there's some schools where they have biathlon, not like NTG or something, but we had some trainings in a week, and I decided to stay at home when I went to school, and was like a good group locally, both in cross-country skiing and biathlon. So I thought that was the best choice for me at that time.
So you went like the normal school route in Norway?
Yeah, it was a sports school, but not like a private one like NTG, okay. if you understand that.
Yeah, for sure. But you also have that Olympiatoppen in Oslo, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a school you could have achieved to go there?
No, they don't have cross country and biathlon there. It's only at Lillehammer and Geilo. So I didn't do that, but I moved here to Lillehammer when I got out of school and started on the junior team.
Okay. And when was like the point that you felt, I want to do biathlon like more professionally?
I don't know if there's an exact point, but I always was quite good, and it was naturally just to keep on going. But when I was maybe 15, I got Endre Strømsheim as my coach.
Yeah.
And then we started to do things pretty serious from then, and we had like a plan in training and had a lot of technique sessions and did some serious training. So
we're talking about Endre Strømsheim from the World Cup, right? So he's like 4 years older than you?
Yeah.
So you were 15 and he was 19 or something like that?
6 years older. So
okay.
But he was a great coach, and he like put me into some more serious training, and he taught me a lot of good things about biathlon and cross-country skiing.
So it was already like when you were 14 or 15 that you had the mindset of you have to train more, and also understanding the training programming and stuff to be better in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I think I thought so at the time, but when I look back at it, I wasn't training much. But when you're at that age, you think you're doing everything you can. But I would say I felt like I was pretty serious at that time, yeah.
But did you also like, or I heard that a lot of Norwegians, they know about the training programs and stuff. Did you also learn that, how to program training plans?
Yeah, I think we used to do like, I set up a plan at first, and then Endre looked at it and we discussed it a little bit. But I think I always knew like how I should set it up. Like it was okay, but of course I had some help in the start. But as you do it more, you get better at it as well.
Okay. Good. So let's jump into your first international experience in biathlon. And I think it was at the Youth World Championships in Soldier Hollow in the US. Tell me, what was it like for you to compete for the first time there?
I had the Youth Olympics first, actually.
Okay.
In Lausanne.
Yeah.
That was the 1 or 2 years before that. But it was strange competing internationally for the first time.
Yeah.
Because you think when you're from Norway, you should be doing pretty good, but my shooting was really bad at the time. I think it was the first year with standing shooting, so I was maybe having like 50-55% hit rate in standing. So it was tough competing internationally with people with 80-90%.
Yeah, I think those races, the Youth Olympic Festival races, they are not always listed everywhere, or also not on the biathlon page because it's a separate union.
Yeah.
But you said it was like a new experience for you. or I asked myself also here in Soldier Hollow, how is it for a Norwegian who never saw like the international guys, never met them before, to compete against them and or to be at an event and know I have to compete against the international elite now?
I think I always was really good in Norway compared to the others, and I thought I would be really good at international as well. But I think I think the level of just pure biathlon maybe was better internationally, because we in Norway were more like cross-country skiers that shoot a bit, and internationally had so many that was skiing quite fast and shooting good as well.
And do you remember your results from the Youth European Festival there?
I think maybe I got like 14th in the sprint and 24th in the individual.
Okay, so not so good as you were used in Norway, maybe.
No, not at all. But I think I shot like 4 mistakes in the sprint and 8 in the individual or something.
Okay, yeah,
I was a bit disappointed at the time, but that was how I shot that day. And I wasn't much better in the Norwegian Cup either for shooting.
But that's interesting now, because when you then came to Soldier Hollow, your first Youth World Championships, what did you think about your first races? Did you think you would be a favorite there, grab the medals, or were you also a little bit on the lower side because you had that experience before at the Olympic Festival?
I think, of course, you think about the medals when you go to a World Championship for Norway in a winter sport. So I remember being a bit disappointed at the time, and but as I said, I don't think I was good enough or better at shooting than I showed there. So I think I got the results I deserved. But
also in Soldier Hollow later, I think you became the 15 in the individual, 10 in the sprint, 7 in the pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
That was also a disappointment for you?
I don't know if disappointment is the right word, but I wanted more, of course.
Yeah.
I remember the altitude in the sprint, I really collapsed. And because the individual, I skied quite fast. And then in the sprint, I wanted to just show what I got and started really hard. And then I lost like 50 seconds or something in the last loop.
Okay.
I was completely done.
So that was also like your first experience in high altitude there?
Yes, it was the first time, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I guess the juniors, the youth guys, they don't go to high altitude camps in Europe, right?
No, it's not normal at that age. So it was a weird experience, but I think also I was a bit dumb maybe, and wanted to show off my skiing a bit too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I learned a lot from it as well.
Okay. So I mean, there aren't a lot like international youth or junior races for the Norwegians, and you always have to stay in your own bubble. I mean, the level might be quite high, but you never know in the end. So do you think that's a problem for you Norwegians who don't have so many international races?
I don't think so, because when you see at the level when we get older, it's more than good enough. And I think we are so many at the same age that are doing quite good. And I know that we are capable of maybe being one of the best juniors as well. But it's a bit strange that it seems like at least the guys, they get better with age compared to other athletes.
But did you also think that back when you were like 20 or 19 or 18, I think, at that time?
No, I think that's one of the highlights from being from Norway, is just to compete internationally, and we always work towards getting the spots in the championships. But it's tough just qualifying, and it's maybe not so easy when you haven't done any international competitions before to just show up at the World Championship and win.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So let's jump a little bit further in time. 1 season or 1 year later, I have to say, you didn't start in the Junior Cup because the Norwegians don't go there, but you gave your IBU Cup debut in Bresno-Ossobli, and you were only 19 years of age and finished 4th and 2nd in your first 2 races. I mean, you must have been surprised by those results, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember I didn't think too much about qualifying for the IBU Cup through the summer or the year. And then suddenly, in one of the qualification weekends, I shot 30 out of 30 to qualify. And I was just like thinking, yeah, now it's just get the experience and go straight back home. But I was really surprised by how good it went.
But did you already think you would be part of the team now after those results?
I mean, it's hard because I know like everybody on the team almost got a win or podium, so it was just more getting the experience. And I think I had the level sometimes, but my level also fell off quite fast if I didn't have the day also.
Yeah, okay. But I was a little bit wondering about why you didn't start at the European Championships back then. So do you know for what reason you didn't go there?
I remember getting sick in Pokljuka.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have qualified either way.
Okay, it wasn't good enough to be 4th and 2nd.
I don't think it was good enough. I don't remember correctly.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember, but I don't think it was good enough now.
Yeah, but I also see you didn't start in Pokljuka in the second sprint there, so I guess you might have been ill there. But you went to the Junior World Championships 2023 in Shushinsk in Kazakhstan. And this time, I think with those big achievements in your back at a higher level at the IBU Cup, you might be the favorite there when you arrived there. So how did you feel going into these World Championship races?
I think I won a lot back then, and I want to show off that what I could do at the IBU Cup, that I could do it in the Junior World Championships as well. But I think it was just really high level there with Norwegians, the German, and Campbell as well. So it was a tough competition there.
But you wanted the medals there, or also a gold medal, or what was the goal for you?
I think just getting some medals, because I haven't, or at the time I didn't have any individual medals. So I think that was the first step. But after I think I podiumed the individual, right?
Yes, bronze medal.
Yeah. And then, I remember being a bit disappointed in the sprint and pursuit there. I didn't show my best level.
So the bronze medal in the individual wasn't so special for you when you don't know where it was?
Yeah, of course it was special to get my first one, but it was. I remember just being crazy conditions there with the wind and everything. So it was really tough shooting, and that was throughout the whole championships.
But I also think you were like a lot younger than some of those guys there, right? So achievements with the bronze medal in the individual, and you also had one in the mixed relay, and you got a gold medal in the relay. So doesn't sound that bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all. So I was the youngest at the juniors at the time, so I really couldn't complain about that. But I don't know. I put some pressure on myself, and I want to be at the level I think I can show, and I don't think I had that, at least in the sprint and pursuit.
Yeah, I guess after second place in the IBU Cup, you might think you would win gold in every individual race there in the juniors.
Yeah, not gold in every race, but I thought I would be like at the front at least in all of them.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump into the next season. That was season 23-24, and I think that might be your breakthrough season. I think so. But you began the season at home in Shushin in the IBU Cup for the first time. Do you remember what your goal was before that season?
I think it was just getting established in the IBU Cup that year.
Okay, I mean, that's not so bad. You finished sixth twice here and eighth in three races there in Shushan. And after that, you got swapped out again?
After Shushan?
Yeah, I think you missed the next races, right?
No, I don't. I think I didn't qualify first, and then I got into Shushan.
Ah, okay. And then you didn't qualify in
the Christmas break after that.
Yeah. Okay, and then was the Christmas break, and then you came back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. But do you know that you have never been out of the top 10 in the IBU Cup since you're shown there?
That's crazy.
Yeah, right? But did you know that, or did I just...
Yeah, I think I knew it. It's I think it's one of my strengths, just being consistent all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think that's like amazing, especially when you look at your age, right? Or you see other people that might have been in the World Cup and had a worse result than you in the last years. So crazy that you've never been out of the top 10 since like 2 years now, or 2 seasons. And you came officially back in January in Martel after the Christmas break with your first 2 victories in the sprint and pursuit. But what was it like for you to stand on top there for the first time?
Yeah, that was amazing. I think I don't know if I expected it that early, and it was almost the first time competing in high altitude in Martel there as well. But that's maybe one of those races I'm most proud of with the shooting and how I did those races with my shooting.
So it was like the revenge for Soldier Hollow, where you
it really was.
You collapsed.
I think it was. I got some years in the bag and a bit more experience, and it was great knowing that I could compete at high altitude as well.
But when you said you don't know what to expect, or if you should have expected this win here, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. It was just weird being young and competing with Sørum and those guys that have been there for so many years, and I thought they had some. I just wasn't expecting to show that good results in races, because I knew in training I was maybe a bit behind, but I really maybe have the ability to show or give my best in races.
Yeah, okay. But you gave your best at the European Championships, I think. Quite after that, possibly in pursuit, you got the gold and you won bronze in the sprint. And I'm wondering, was there like, I don't know, a turning point for you where you thought I might belong to the big guys now in Norway?
Yeah, I think I kind of dreamt about being or getting a spot at the World Cup team maybe in the end of the season there, because I don't think I was too far behind, and with all the good results, I think I was close to being there as well. But it's so hard just to qualify, and I think I was just happy being at the IBU team for the while there.
Yeah, I think you also must have been happy with the European Championship title, right?
Yes, of course it was.
Especially with the European Championships there in Osabli.
Yeah, it's just crazy looking back at it and seeing all the good results throughout the last years. Now it's incredible.
Yeah, I also looked through your IBU Cup history, and it's crazy what achievements you have already reached, or like how often you're on the podium, how often you win and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think I just built a lot of confidence now these last years, and know that I have the ability to perform, and I just fell into a rhythm where I just do the next race, and it always went right. Yeah,
sounds so easy, but I think it isn't, right?
No, it's not easy, but but I think I built a lot of confidence and just know what I had to do at those races to perform, and also was there mentally to do the work as well.
Okay. So let's jump into your next Junior World Championships. That was in 2024 in Otepää. And I think this time you arrived as the big favorite here. So did you feel any pressure going into those worlds there?
Yeah, when I look back at it, I think I felt it a lot more than I said I was, because I struggled a lot with the shooting there in training, and was probably a bit more nervous than I thought. And I knew I was kind of one of the big favorites, and wanted to get the win individually. But it was hard again to do it, and I was close sometimes. But in the sprint it worked out.
Yeah. But did you like try to take the pressure off of you? Like talking you a little bit down, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe what I learned is to just accept the pressure, and it's more about the pressure I put on myself, because I know that, or I knew at the time I was the favorite, and I think I just should have accepted it and just tried to grow from it. Like Johannes, he just likes being the favorite, and then he just crushes everyone. And I think I want to be able to do the same one day. And I think maybe that was good going into the World Championships and being the favorite for once. Because in the IBU-Cup, I wasn't the favorite for the races, so it was kind of a new experience.
And are you happy in the end with your results there, or do you think like, yeah, normally you would have taken all the golds there, or what was the plan?
I think I maybe dreamt about all the golds, but I was happy with the results in the end. I think, I was really happy with the gold, and I think the performances also was quite good. But the level is often quite high, and it's not just easy picking up all the gold medals. You have to really do good races to win there as well.
Yeah, I mean, to finish that, you got gold in the relay, the mixed relay, and in the sprint, and silver in the mustard 60, and you got fourth in the individual. So, I mean, it's not that bad, right? But of course, it's not the full house, the thing you maybe dreamt of. But with your success, you grabbed an extra spot for Norway in the World Cup because you were the best junior at the Worlds. So you had a 9th spot for the World Cup finale in Soldier Hollow and Canmore in the season before the last season. But they didn't take you with them there. So how did you deal with that message?
I remember trying to argue myself in there, but I had been told before that they would not send me straight from the World Championships. So I kind of knew it, but I still tried to talk myself into the spot. But I think with the altitude and time differences, they didn't want me to go. But of course I was a bit disappointed there. But I knew that I would get chances later, but it would be nice to debut there.
So you're still disappointed about that, or would you say today, no, it was okay, it was a good decision?
Oh, I don't think too much about it now. It's okay.
Okay, but I mean, in the last years, there were also some discussions in Norway about team nominations and stuff. So what's your opinion about that? How would you say, is it in Norway? Is it so tough as everyone is saying, or the people that are in those situations?
I think it's hard to pick out. At least in the IBU-Cup, we have a pretty good system with like the last place gets switched out with the best from Norwegian Cup. But
it's always the case, right?
Yeah, I think there are now some cases when they're not changed if like you're leading the overall and stuff. But it's still pretty strict with who they change out. So there's not much to argue about really in the IBU Cup. But in the World Cup, there's a bit tougher to get in, and when you have 10 guys that want to be there and only 6 spots, there's tough decisions to be made, of course.
So you're also not always so happy with them?
Oh, I think they have been pretty fair this year at least, and there's not much to argue. I think they switched more times than before, and that's good to see people getting the chances they deserve. But I know it's not easy to make decisions as well to perform, because everybody can do well if they get the chance.
Yeah, for sure. But do you think that might change now that the Boe brothers are gone?
Of course, that makes it a bit easier to get in, because they were just the best. So no reason to change them. But now I think it's pretty open, at least for this year, to both for the Olympics and the World Cup team. So will be cool to see how it goes out.
And also exciting for the fans, of course. So
yeah, it's. I think it's maybe just Sturla is really safe, and then there's a lot of guys after that's really close in level. So it will be a cool challenge. That.
Yeah, it would be crazy if he's not safe, I have to say.
Yeah, I think he's okay. He should be good enough either way.
I think so too. So yeah, in the end of that season, you were 5th in the IBU Cup standings. You were the best junior. You were Junior World Championship. You were European champion. But still no World Cup race for you. So what was your plan when starting the preparation last year?
Yeah, that season I got into the B team for the first time.
Yeah,
that I think was a big step to train with Anders as the team as the trainer, and both Johan Olav and Vebjørn as well, and they really just led the team out, and I learned a lot. I took some great steps in training that last year, and I think that was good for my progression.
And did you also up your volume so much in the last year?
Not at those crazy numbers as some of the others on the team. I tried to do a bit my own thing as well, but of course there's some good volume, but not crazy amounts, no.
So how did the last off-season go for you?
It was really good. I tried to do much of the same things and then added some altitude as well. But I really only got... Yeah, we had one altitude camp in August that went really well. And then the whole team really got sick on
I remember,
the last one before the season. So it went... I think everyone on the team was perfect until then. And then we got some struggles. But... yeah, really, the preparation was good all the way, I will say.
But did you already hope for a World Cup start in Kontiolahti at the beginning?
I think that was the goal, yeah, to get a spot. But when you're not safe for the IBU Cup either, it's...
Yeah.
I mean, I can't complain about getting in the IBU Cup, but I did have a goal to get into the World Cup team through the season.
Yeah, I remember it was quite close in the qualification for you, right? To make it to Kontiolahti.
Yeah, I think I was 6th or 7th through the days, and I was close. But yeah, it was still some guys doing better, so it's couldn't complain too much about that.
But yeah, in the end, you began your season in Idre in the IBU Cup, and I think it started pretty good after the first race. You had a winning streak of 3 wins in a row. So tell me, how was the feeling of having such a streak? That's not something you have every day, right?
No, it was amazing. I remember Biathlon just felt super easy those days. It was just, I could just ski and just come in and just pull the trigger, and everything went down. So it's kind of weird being in, I would say, like a flow state where everything goes well. And I just try to keep it for as long as possible. But yeah, winning 3 times in a row there was really, really fun. And then you can't keep it up forever either. So yeah.
But why can't you keep it up forever? Like when you're in the flow, or what does break that flow?
I think when you're in the flow, you have like some really just steady where everything goes easy. Then you start to slack maybe a little bit, and then you slack a bit more throughout the races, and then you maybe get one not bad result, but worse than before. And then you have to like build up again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. But looking also at your improvements or overall at you over the off season, how did you feel yourself going into the past season?
I remember feeling really good at the skis, and then I changed my stock the summer.
Yeah.
For the shooting, and I remember I struggled a lot with getting used to it, and I did not feel very confident until maybe like late October, start November. So it was some months there where I struggled a lot just getting used to it, and I wasn't feeling like before, but I got there in the end, and when the season started, I felt like I had a good, at least, shooting level at the time.
But did you also feel like your body got stronger, or you improved yourself, also made like the gap to the best a little bit closer now?
Yeah, I think so. The test results that year were really good, and I just had like a steady increase throughout the whole preseason. But I mean, so does everybody else. So it's it's like when I go uphill, you have both Vebjørn, Johan, and all the World Cup guys also going uphill, and it's I think just the level gets higher every year.
But you feel like in those uphills or stuff that you come closer to them, or that you are going faster than the year before and stuff?
Yeah, I felt I was closer to the World Cup level last year than the year before, and I think my best performances that was now is a lot better than the years before.
Yeah, for sure. So after December, in December you were like the second in the IBU-Cup standings, and I was wondering, like, what has it done to your goals, like the first trimester in the IBU-Cup? Did you higher your expectations after that?
Yeah, I remember we were all at the Geilo at the second IBU-Cup. Me, Uldal, and Johan were really close in the overall, and then they did a change to the World Cup, and I think Uldal was leading by 6-7 points ahead of me, and 12 or something ahead of Johan, and then he got the chance in the World Cup, and then he suddenly won as well.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I think we all knew that we had a great level in us, but it's just to get the chance, and he got it that time, and he proved himself really, really good there.
So did you think that could have been you? I mean, you were pretty close with that winning streak and stuff, and maybe you could have also taken the win in Annecy. You never know.
I'm not sure if I have that kind of top level or had that last year, but for sure we all felt like we were really close at the time, and I was having a small hope for the World Cup at the time, but I mean, I get the decision as well, and I think it's you can't complain about the decision when he won after.
For sure, but did the coaches talk to you about your options in the season at any point?
Yeah, I remember talking to the coaches after Geilo there that it was really close, and if I just kept on going, it would pay off in the end with the World Cup spot. But it's, I mean, you have to be patient for the Norwegian team, and the chances don't come every weekend. But I was just told to keep on going with good results, and it will pay off. Yeah.
Okay. So going into the next highlight, it was the European Championships in Martel, and before that you took 5 podiums out of 6 races and 1 4th place. So again, not so bad. And I think you maybe also arrived here as the big favorite to an event for the first time maybe with the big guys. This time it was the European Championships. So was the gold medal maybe the logical next step for you? Like you also had one in the year before?
Yeah, I think I, of course, wanted to be up there at every race, and I think I maybe didn't feel the best there, but it was. I mean, I love competing at Martel, and it was great having the European Championships there. But it was. It's also a struggle, and the European Championships, they have high level with a lot of or some World Cup guys coming as well. So it's fun seeing that level as well.
So you didn't count with the medals there, or with the gold medal? I think with the medals you counted, of course, but you were European champion in the year before. So did you also think you could repeat that here, or maybe take one more gold than the year before?
Yeah, of course, I was hoping to. I mean, every race I go to, I hope to win, but it doesn't work like that always. But I think I was happy with how I performed there, and it was the individual. I think I was maybe a bit surprised that it was enough for a gold.
Yeah,
It was only, I think it was 2 mistakes, right?
Yeah, I think also, especially in Martel, the whole team seems to struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially in comparison to the IBU Cups before.
Yeah, I know. So it was maybe not quite the best team performance there, but I mean, we did perform well as well, but it was a lot closer than it had been before. Like the French guys were strong and the Italians as well.
Yeah.
So it was some tough competitions for sure.
And you already made it in the individual because you won the gold there to complete that. But how would you rank being a European champion? So what does it mean to you?
Of course, it means a lot. It's at the time it was the biggest competitions I compete at, and but yeah, it felt a bit strange in the individual there because I didn't feel like it maybe, I don't know, deserved the gold, but it was maybe not my best performance, but it paid off with the gold in the end, and that felt really good for sure.
I mean, in the end, you are European champion, so you made it, and
so
nobody was better than you, so that's not so bad. But yeah, what I mean is like, what's the worth of the European Championships like for you?
I mean, it's hard to say because in the moment I feel like I'm always like chasing being on the World Cup.
Yeah.
And that's like the end goal for the season there. And I don't want to say it's just a step on the way, but it's, I think a World Cup spot means more to me than a European Championship gold, if that makes sense.
So a spot is more than a gold? Yeah?
Yeah, because I think it's so hard to just get in. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I used the whole season almost to get a spot. So, and like the European Championships are a step on the way, and maybe where you can show your level to the coaches the most. And to do well there was like a good reminder for them that I'm here and I want to compete with the best.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And you also won the relay as a team with a very, very strong relay day. So nearly perfect also at the shooting range. And you had plenty of time as the finisher in the relay. And you had some fun on the final lap. But I think there are also some people, or especially in Germany, a lot of people that are seeing those moves as like arrogant and stuff. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I know that. I think it kind of just was in the moment there. I was high on adrenaline and it all went really fast, but I thought it might be funny, but I can also see why some people don't. And yeah, we have talked a bit about it, but it wasn't meant in a bad way. It was just like almost a perfect relay from us, and I think that's what we were kind of celebrating, not other things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I guess you have to experience that yourself. Those moments, like to know what it feels like, right? To be in that moment and to have those achievements or those successes and to do those movements and stuff. So it's not like arrogant, or when you look at soccer player, football players, they celebrate each goal like, I don't know, they are world champions. And here you make like a move to the fans or stuff, and you're like arrogant.
Yeah, and I know, and I didn't mean it that way, but I can see why some people think so. But it was more just when we had that crazy relay with just one spray round, and like my only goal in that relay was to shoot clean, and when I just did it, it was just full of adrenaline, and yeah, we just felt on top of the world. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well deserved, I think. But I also saw an interview of you, Isak, where you said you are more like an introverted guy in real life and maybe more extroverted in biathlon. So did you mean like those situations with this statement?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think it's easier for me to express myself in biathlon and with the competition and sport, and just do what I love to do and what I'm good at. So I think it's easier to be a bit more extroverted when doing biathlon than elsewhere.
Yeah, I think you see that many times. I think Giacomelli is also a guy like this. He's in real life maybe more introverted, a calm guy, and on biathlon he is very extroverted, especially when he's successful. So the question is, why can't you do that like in real life, or or copy that into the real life, you know?
I don't know. I'm not like super introverted, but I don't really like the spotlight either, if that's the right word. And it's just how I am. I like to be a bit more quiet and just work on training and stuff, and then I get to not show off, but show what I can do in biathlon. I think that's easier for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer to that.
Yeah.
So, it took some time in the end, but you also got your World Cup debut in Pokljuka last winter. So how was it for you to be finally part of the World Cup team?
Oh, I remember it was a great feeling getting called up there. But also the conditions there were just crazy. So that was not easy being a biathlete that week. But I mean, it was good to get the chance. But with like a half a meter of snow and rain in the course, and you have to double pole, it was maybe not the best experience. But of course, it was fun to get the debut either way.
But was the debut as you dreamed of? Like, was it special to be in the World Cup?
Yeah, I remember like in training and the days before, it felt really special. But when I get to compete, I don't think too much about it. It just happens so fast, and you do your thing. You have a race plan, and you don't think too much before it's over. But I remember it was more of a struggle just getting through the race than enjoying the moment.
Yeah, I also remember you gambled a little bit, already prepared your first World Cup races after the European Championships, while you could have also maybe started in the Junior Worlds again. So what made you so sure to get the chance earlier maybe than Oslo?
Yeah, I had a big discussion with Anders about what to do. I was really unsure if I wanted to go to the Junior World Championships or not, but I felt I was so close after the European Championship that if I just had some good performances later, I would get the chance earlier. And we also talked about if I didn't get it through the IBU-Cup, he didn't think it was necessary to go either in the World Cup. So it was a bit back and forth there between me and Anders, and we decided in the IBU-Cup as well. And I think that was the right decision also.
Because the 9th spot, when you would have been the best junior again, would have been an extra spot that they couldn't take from you, and you had a personal start right. And there could have been 2 other guys from the IBU Cup that came up, and so it would have been more like the safe way for you to go over the juniors, maybe.
Maybe, but also it's it's not safe just coming to the Junior World Championships and be the best either, because there you have fewer races and one bad individual and the chance might be gone. So I think through the IBU-Cup they see more on the whole season than on the last races, and I thought I was in a really, really good spot before those last races. So that's why we went with the European, the IBU-Cup instead.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you were right, and you also made your first podium in Pokljuka with the mixed relay, and in Oslo you even got 4th, 5th, and 9th in the final races. So how do you see your first World Cup race? Was it as expected, or is the level even higher than expected?
I think maybe the level was a bit higher than I expected.
Yeah?
Like, of course, the top guys I knew would ski really fast and do good biathlon, but even from 10th to 30th to 30th as well, it's really high level, and they are not skiing slow. They are all skiing kind of fast and shooting fast and also quite good. So it was a new experience doing that, and I think it was a bit unexpected that it was so high. But yeah, I remember the mass starts were just crazy. I just went all out from the second loop and in, and it was a lot harder than I'm used to.
Yeah, you were close on the mass start, right?
Yeah, it was. I remember, like in the IBU-Cup, you can shoot well and just control the race and don't have to go all out. But in the World Cup, I remember I was shooting clean in the first shooting, and I wasn't with the front group, and I just had to sprint from there and out, and then just get tired in the end.
Okay, so how would you sum up your season?
I think it was really good. I got what I wanted. That was a spot on the World Cup, and I'm happy with the races I did there as well. I think I showed the level I was showing the whole season, I think, and of course it was close to the podium in Oslo there, but also really happy with the 4th place.
Okay, you also won the IBU Cup. What does that mean to you? I mean, it's a Nixo spot for Norway, but how's it personal for you to win that?
Yeah, it was really. I think that was a big goal for me before the season, because I knew that my consistency is really good, and the IBU Cup was kind of a natural goal then, and yeah, really happy to bring that home, and I think it showed just how I performed throughout the season and what that level was.
And did you also get the trophy?
Yes, I have the trophy now. Yeah. I didn't. I went before they gave me it, but they drove it back to Norway with it, so I have it now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, that was also your last junior year, right? So the junior phase is over, but did you feel like you had a junior phase? Because, as I said, in Norway you don't have so many junior races and stuff, only the World Championships. How's it for you?
I mean, the first junior year I had, I think, I felt really like a junior, but after that I competed mostly in senior level and wanted to do well there, but it's hard to explain. I don't know if I want to like be called the junior when because I feel like I have the level to compete with the best, at least in the IBU-Cup and maybe the World Cup also. But I am now at 21, and I think I should be getting at quite a high level now.
And back to the IBU-Cup, overall, do you feel like the IBU-Cup is too easy now for you?
No, not at all. I think at least the Norwegian level there and the German as well will always be quite high. And
but you're nearly always on the podium.
Almost, but I know the other guys can be that as well, and it's not going to be easy to do that next year as well. But I hope, of course, for better.
For sure. But the last 2 or 3 years, it only looked like it went up for you, up, never down, and you seem to get better with every race. So I was wondering, were there any setbacks for you before the last years and stuff?
I don't think I've had any major setbacks. I just think when I got into the junior team, I started training a lot more and better training, harder training than I did before. And my body has been really good the last years and just steadily improved. And hopefully that can continue. But I know it's not going to be easy. But hopefully I can take a few more steps still.
Yeah, I hope so too. And let's look at the current preparation. It always begins with the team formation, I think. It was a big surprise for me and also for many other people that you aren't part of the A team or the elite team in Norway. Right now, you are in the B or recruiting team, I guess it's the name. So how big was your disappointment about that?
Of course, I wanted to get on the A team and train with the best.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed at the time, but I'm also really happy with the team right now, and I think we have some really good things going on, and we're trying some new things in training, and I think we have a good shot. I don't think it matters that much which team you're on, just that the competition gets fair in November. That's all that counts, really.
But do you know how many spots are open in for the World Cup?
No, we don't know yet. So it will be exciting to see.
Okay. Yeah, I could guess it's only one that's given to Sturla and the rest may be open.
I think some more will get some spots, but it will be interesting.
Yeah, you think so?
How they do it.
I mean, if I look in the overall standings. Yeah, I mean, there's only one more guy in the top 10, right? That's Vebjørn. So,
yeah. My guess is maybe that the guys with the World Cup win gets a free spot from last year. But,
okay, that's bad for you, yeah.
I don't know.
That's nearly everyone.
I mean, they can do much there, but
yeah.
I don't think every spot will be open.
Yeah. Okay, so how is it with the training camps? You told me that you have enough budget for high altitude camps, so that's no problem in the B team right now.
No, we use our budget for the altitude camps, and I think we get a really good program there. And until the Olympics, we base a lot of training in altitude. And I had my first one now with Johan and Sivert Bakken also being there. So we had some good trainings, and I think it went well, hopefully. But we'll see in the testings now next week. But I feel like I did a good job.
And the summer overall is also going well for you?
Yeah, there's no major problems. Just getting some training in there. Not any crazy amount, but just steadily train good and ready to step up a bit now later in the fall.
And will you do any changes now in this off season, like focus on some improvements or doing something with your rifle?
No, I try to do some changes technically with how I'm shooting, because I mean, I'm shooting good, but I don't feel like my technical level is like the same as Sturla and such. I think I have good focus when I'm shooting, and maybe get a lot out of what I'm capable of, but still I see some forms of improvement in like technical ability and how I shoot. So I try to look at some videos of especially Sturla when how we shoot, and try to copy some moves, and and hopefully it works out. But I haven't done any major changes now.
So we won't see you with the Ulda technique and stuff?
No, you won't. But
Sturla is doing that too, right? Now in the
he's doing he did the same this year. So I think more people will do it in the years to come. But I feel like I'm shooting fast enough, and that's not the problem. But of course, it's nice to have 12 seconds here in your vocabulary. But I don't think that's necessary, at least for next year.
Okay. But I also saw your hit rate is like in the 90% range the last 2 years in the IBU Cup, so that's also not so bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Yeah, but I think I don't do like many huge mistakes in biathlon. But I'm not the best at anything really. But like the consistency and the level of everything is at a high level. But hopefully I can get like my best level a bit better for next year. I think if I want to get to the Olympics, I need some races with even higher quality than I did this year. But the consistency is there, and I hope to continue that next year as well.
Yeah. So will you attend any summer events this year? Or like, say, events until the World Cup start?
We only do Blink Festival and the National Summer Championships.
Yeah.
So that's the plan, but not any major focus on that. Just nice seeing how things are going and use it as a bit of motivation. But I know that the big guys they wait a lot longer before they show their level. And like Sturlandsers, he takes it so easy, and then when the season starts, he just straight to the best. But I don't look too much into the competitions there.
Yeah, I think last year the B team crushed the A team pretty hard on the nationals, right?
Yeah, and then it was the opposite when the season started. So
So there's no Loop 1 for you?
No, there's not a lot going on. I think we just focus on the altitude camps and do that as good as possible.
And then Geilo will be the place where the pressure is on for you, right?
Yeah, that's when it starts, and I think that's maybe the most important race for all the Norwegians that aren't qualified. And if I want to go to the Olympics, I think you have to perform from the start and get on the World Cup team.
Do you think the pressure, or do you feel like the pressure in Geilo or Sjøen in the last years at the opening is higher or different than in any other race? Because you know that might be the most important races for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tension between everyone at those races, and there's not a lot of mistakes that you can make before you're out of everything. It's close between getting to the World Cup and not going to the IBU Cup, so I think everyone just wants to be at their best there, and it's difficult.
Yeah. And I think it's also interesting because a lot of your colleagues struggle to be a Norwegian and waiting for years to be part of the World Cup team or any team at all. And some might even end their careers very early when they are still very young and would be part of any team in the world when they were in the Norwegian. But you don't seem to have any problems with that, I think. How do you feel about the situation in Norway?
Of course, it's tough being a Norwegian. But I also think I have managed it quite well, and usually it's the best guys get their chances in the end, and of course it's hard when you not get a chance and don't get to the World Cup. But I think being a Norwegian also give you an advantage in comparison to other nations as well, because the level is so high. So when you get to the IBU Cup or World Cup, you know you have the level. But of course, it's just getting there that's the struggle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think it's not a struggle for you until now, at least. So what's your goal for the next season, Isak?
I think it's hard, to say, because the Olympics is so difficult to get into with only 4 spots. And of course, that's kind of the goal, or a dream at least, but it's so much that have to go right. You like have to get to the World Cup, and then you have to get into the top 4 Norwegians as well. But I think that's what I'm hoping for, at least. But I would be happy also just establish myself on the World Cup team and try to get a full World Cup season. That's kind of the main goal.
So the goal is to not start in the IBU Cup anymore.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm finished with that. But of course it's most likely going to happen to have some IBU Cup races still. But I want the World Cup, and the Olympics also is a dream up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough, as you said. It's 4 spots only, and maybe one is reserved for Sturla when he's healthy. So the chances are quite low, right? To I mean, it's not quite low, but it depends on your ability, what you can show and stuff.
It's not low, but it's still so difficult because there are maybe like 10 guys that wants the spot and have the ability to be good enough for the Olympics. But of course, a lot have to go right with the qualifications and the World Cup season. But yeah, I of course think about it and want to be a part of the team. But I also know how hard it is, and that it's not going to be easy either.
Yes. But when I talk to other Norwegian athletes from your team or the B team, and a lot of them told me that you are or might be the biggest talent right now in biathlon, or at least in Norwegian biathlon. So what does it do to you when you hear that? Because I think you also heard that maybe in the past.
I mean, of course, it's a good thing, but I more think about the pressure or the dreams I have myself, and I hope and think I can do some good things in biathlon, and I think I have the ability to do it as well. But there's still a few steps that needs to be made, but hopefully I have something to go on still in training, and I think I have some like training improvements and can just increase training a bit and have something more I could do to get on a higher level. So but of course I like being in the spot I am, and hopefully soon I can show it as well.
I also compared like your results in the World Cup and IBU Cup and stuff with other great names in the sport, and it's rare to see someone in your age that have these results, like such good results. You were close to a World Cup podium, especially your first World Cup races. It's rare to see someone in your age with those results there. So how do you look at that when you see that maybe too? You maybe also looked up the stats of Johannes Thingnes Boe or like Martin Fourcade and other great guys, and you're also on that way, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal to think about that. I have so good results at this age, but yeah, it's I have seen what Johannes did at the age as well, and I see that it's possible to be at a high level, and I hope to maybe take a little step to. There's not much needed for getting into the Olympics and such, but I try not to think too much about it. But of course, I want to be one of the best myself.
Mm-hmm. And is there also like a feeling of fear that you might not get on that level or get to the next level, like that it's maybe everything you've shown now is like everything you can show?
No, I don't think so. I have quite high confidence in myself, and but of course the progression has been really, really steady, increased, and I have thought about maybe it has to stop someplace, but hopefully it's not now. But it's not easy to predict the future either. So I just try to focus on what I can do myself to be better, and not not think too much about what Johannes and like Fourcade did, but of course I feel like I can have a really high level in me.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also think there are some other guys that are also on a very high level, so it will not be easy for sure. But Isak, I also saw you got a little brother, right? He's 18,
Yes,
Sondre.
yes.
And I think he's also quite successful in Norway, right?
Yeah, he has been. He won the Norwegian Cup for his age this year, so he's coming as well. And he was at the altitude camp with me now, and he's getting closer. So it's tough for me, you know, to see him getting there. But at least for now, I have some better level than him. But he's getting there for sure.
So you both also seem to me like to be very motivated to, be like a top level biathlete.
Yeah, I think he really wants it now as well, and I hope I hope he gets on a really high level, but that I can still beat him.
I guess we might see him on the World Championships the next year, right? For the Junior World Championships.
He hopes for that. So he's been training a lot with me this summer, and he's getting a lot better. So it's nice to see.
So do you think you could be like the next Boe brothers?
I hope it's the opposite, that the older ones get... I'm like Johannes and he's like Tarjei. But I think he also has really good potential, and like he's already at a high level and able to train with me. So I hope he can take the step as well. That would be fun.
Yeah, the Norwegians are always on the gas, so it doesn't stop. So very crazy. But let's step away from biathlon for a second and tell me, what are your things you're doing when you're not doing biathlon and other sports?
I really got into golfing some years ago. That's a big hobby of mine. I play with some friends, both in biathlon and outside of it. But for sure, there's not much time right now because the altitude camp was pretty serious, and but I have some time off now, maybe to play some. But that's a big hobby of mine.
I think Vetle is also very much into golf, right?
Yeah, Vetle and Mats Øverby is also really into it. So we're a good group there that plays. Have not played too much this year, but we played a lot last year.
Okay, and that's it? Only golf and nothing else?
I did study until this year. So I used some time on that. I studied a mix of IT and economy, and that was, okay, but I decided to take a break now after my exams finished, and I tried to go all in on the Olympics and biathlon this year.
Yeah, that's good. So in the end, let's do our little section here.
Rapid fire.
Yeah. That's it, and that are questions that we always ask our guests. So you can answer with just one word or one sentence, however you like. So do you have any rituals before the start of a race?
No, not much.
No? Okay. So what's your favorite venue you have visited so far, except of Oslo?
I think Martel.
Yeah, okay. Your favorite racing format in biathlon?
Pursuit.
Prone or standing shooting?
I want to say standing, but I'm better at prone.
Okay. So what's the coolest thing about biathlon for you, or let's say about being a biathlete, about your job, you know?
I think just having the freedom to train and travel the world and compete.
And what annoys you the most about your job?
Maybe the bad days, the rainy days. That's not the most fun.
And what was your favorite moment in biathlon?
I think the weekend in Oslo with both the Boe brothers retiring and and me being a part of the team as well.
And it's not like, I don't know, any win of you or a medal?
Yeah, I mean, you could say so, but I think that was just fun experiencing competing near my home and being there with my family and friends watching and competing, and it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, and did you have any role models in biathlon or outside of biathlon?
I think Johannes has been my biggest role model throughout the years because he's always been the best.
But you didn't train with him together, right? So
no, I haven't trained with him and did not beat him either in the World Cup. So I have to go with that my whole career that I didn't beat him.
Maybe you can beat him in golf very soon. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully. It doesn't seem like he has maybe the best golfing ability yet, but I'm sure he's working on it.
I think he hates the training, but I don't know. So now you can put together your best biathlete in the world, and it doesn't matter if she or he is active, inactive, a man or a woman. Which attributes would you take and from whom? Like the shooting of, I don't know.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, okay. I take prone shooting. I will do Sturla. And then standing, I do Perrault.
Yeah.
And then skiing, I think I have to take Johannes maybe. But
maybe not next year, but in his best
maybe
years,
not next year, but I take Johannes as skiing is just powering through everyone. But and then in the finish, I think I take who would I take there? Maybe I have to say Vebjørn because he's beating me in sprints in training and was beating me last year. And then I take my own head for that person. So I think
that's a good mix, I think. Yeah. So imagine you had a big billboard in a big city, let's say the Times Square in New York. Everyone can read it. Which message would you write on that billboard? And it shouldn't be a commercial.
Maybe live out your dream can be like a motivational quote.
Yeah, I think that's great. So a perfect quote for the end here. Yeah, Isak, thank you very much for your time. It was a lot of fun.
And thank you for being here as well.
And before you leave, tell our audience where they can find you if they want to see or know more about you.
Yeah, mostly on Instagram. So Isak Frey there.
Yeah.
I think you should find me, and I try to be a bit more active, but I'm not the most active yet. But I try to.
And no TikTok or stuff.
I'm not on TikTok, no, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think Vebjørn is very strong on TikTok.
Vebjørn is strong on social media. Yeah. He's our social media guy.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate your time, and wish you the best for the next season.
Thank you.